Hey, y'all, hey. Today I'm going to be guiding you through how to support your child's math education or English education at home. By the end of this video, you'll be able to assess where your child is performing academically in math. You'll be able to determine your scholar's learning style. You'll also be able to choose the curriculum that works best for you and your scholar. And last but not least, you'll be able to create a plan that supports you, your scholar, and your family for learning at home. First, we have to assess your child's learning. In order to do that, we can use Khan Academy. This is completely free, and we can follow these 4 short steps on the screen for us to be able to do that. Parents, I assure you, you do not have to be an educator to assess your child's learning. Khan Academy has made it super easy and it's very easy to follow. Let me show you. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to go to khanacademy.org. Once you go there, you're going to click on the drop down button for Explore. And once you click on Explore, you'll see these options available. So I tell parents typically for math, you're going to go to math pre-K through 8th grade. That will actually, it says pre-K through 8th grade, but you actually have to go on a completely different site if your child is under 2nd grade. So this works well if your child is 3rd grade all the way through to college. So after you select that, you're then going to scroll over to what is the last grade that your child has completed. Let's say the last grade that your child completed was 5th grade. As you can see, mine already have percentages filled in because I use this pretty often. But you click on 5th grade, and from there, it will then populate with 5th grade math skills. So you'll see on the left side all the different units that are available, but you're going to scroll all the way down to the bottom of this where you get to course challenge. Mine says it's in progress because, as I said, I use this pretty often. But once you click on course challenge, you click on it and it's going to take you to this screen where it says ready for course challenge. Yes, typically the course challenge is takes about 30 to 45 minutes. The rules that I typically tell my students is I want you to complete this. If it's something that you do not know, it is okay to skip it. And I really do like the fact that it has the feature for you to be able to skip questions that you don't know. It's great for students who may be like, I just don't get it. Or some of our students tend to have that learned helplessness thing. The goal is for them to choose the things that they believe that they're confident and know so that then we can figure out what they don't know to be able to better support them in their learning. I also tell students that it's okay to make mistakes. If you try a question and let's say you get it wrong, that's fine. That is actually the easiest way for me to determine what you know and do not know. So, when completing this course challenge, please encourage the scholars to do their best that they can, and that is okay to make mistakes. Mistakes are how you learn what they know and what they don't know and how to better support them. Now that you've taken an assessment to see where your child is performing academically, we now need to figure out your child's learning style. These are some of the learning styles that I'm most familiar with seeing. Kinesthetic learners love to move around. Read write learners learn better from reading and writing things down. Auditory learners have to hear everything. Visual learners, more pictures, more diagrams. And then you have a person like myself who's a combination learner. I am actually a visual, auditory, and kinesthetic learner. It just depends on the topic at the time or the subject. So it's super interesting. And you and your child may be the same way. After determining where your child is performing academically, you next need to figure out your child's learning style. Every learner is different. You can use a formal assessment, which is a series of questions. It may take about 10 minutes to an hour to complete this for you to determine their learning style. Or you can do informal assessments where you simply just observe your child. Think about different activities that they like to do and see what they do without anyone watching them. That is also a great indicator to determine your child's learning style. When it comes to learning styles, I prefer informal assessments. If you have a kid that plays sports, that's a type of kinesthetic learner. If you have a child that enjoys color coding things or learning American Sign Language, that is very visual, and most likely your child is a visual learner. Another one that may be a little sneaky, but a great way to tell is if your child likes to grab a cookbook or look at a recipe and start making items, that is a read write scholar because determine they have to one be able to read the instructions and two be able to comprehend those instructions. These are just some quick informal assessments I can use. There are plenty out there, but feel free to use whichever one works best for you. Okay, so we have
Seeing what your scholar knows and doesn't know. We've also had like a informal assessment of how they like to learn. Now it's time for you to choose a curriculum. On the screen, you'll see that I have Khan Academy, which is completely free. That's what we were using to do the assessment. Zern is a great one for math. It breaks it down by grade levels, and it also gives a lot of games, instruction. Overall, it works pretty well for most parents. You have IXL. IXL, if you would like just one single subject, as in like just math, just English, just science, just history, it's $79 a month. But if you're more into the core subjects, which is math, science, history, and English, then that subscription would be $159 per month. Last but not least, you have Legends of Learning. So Legends of Learning is about $65 a month for parents. And what I do enjoy about Legends of Learning is it is a great tool for gamification. If your scholar is a person that learns explicitly from playing games or they just enjoy playing games, Legends of Learning has a library of games that your scholar can play that both teach a skill as well as reinforcing a skill. So, totally up to you. Figure out what works best for you and your scholar.
Another option when choosing your curriculum is to go old school with paper, pencil, and textbooks. All you'll need is a printer, a pencil, sometimes a calculator, but I don't use calculators. Big Ideas Math is completely free. All you have to do is choose your state and use a printer to print out the sheets. It the entire curriculum is there, plenty of options for you to choose from. Also, you have Embark Online, that is also completely free. It comes with lessons that you can pull up and use, or you can just literally print out the sheets themselves and go through them with your scholar. Both are great resources if you're interested in a more textbook approach. Options 3 and 4, these are workbooks that you can find right online. Spectrum workbooks are very simple. It's just way more practice. Like you may have one example question and then about 30 practice problems. McGraw Hill comes with both exercises and practice problems, but sometimes the work is tailored to a very, very old school type of word problem settings.
Okay, so now we're at the end of it. We have assessed scholars learn. We have assessed scholars learning. We have looked at what their potential learning styles could be, and we have looked at some potential curriculum. Last but not least, we're going to figure out how we piece this all together to plan for our scholar or our scholars. So, one question to consider, think about what time works best for you and your scholar. Often we want to schedule our scholars learning to be at like 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. In reality, that does not work for me because I have teenagers. I pretty much usually schedule their summer learning, especially around like between 10 and 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Second, you have to determine how many days a week do you want to do this academic support. You can do 1 day, 3 days, 2 days, whatever works best for you. But whatever it is, just make sure that you can be consistent. Last but not least is checking for understanding. As I showed you with Khan Academy does a great job of you can pick that skill. It gives you 4 questions to assess your scholar's learning, and the goal is to get 80% or better. Because it's only 4 questions, 3 questions correct will obviously be a 75%. And I would have a student go back and redo it. But what I love about Khan Academy is you can always go back until you get up to 100%. So
Thank you so much for taking this time to make it through this with me. Please feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I plan to do plenty more videos like this on this channel. Thanks.